Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everybody. This is a recorded lesson for grade 10. This is Mr. Nabil Adam from Al-Barkia Secondary School. Today I'm going to present Unit 7 for the second term. Here I'm giving you a revision for the new vocabulary, and then we are going to do some exercises to check your understanding for these words. The title for Unit 7, Power, the Alternatives. We have to find other sources of energy to get energy or power, because these sources are finite. They are going to run out. Let's learn some of the new vocabulary. Crude oil. Crude oil. Oil from the underground in its natural state before it has been processed or refined. The use of oil and other fossil fuels is contributing to environmental damage and global warming. Remember, the three fossil fuels are coal, crude oil, and natural gas. Fossil fuel. Fossil fuel. Fossil fuel are fuels such as gas, coal, and oil that were formed underground from plant and animal remains millions of years ago. Do you think that other sources of energy can replace oil entirely? Do you think that coal, natural gas, and other renewable sources of energy can replace crude oil entirely? Entirely means completely, completely. Oil is a finite resource of energy. Finite means it has a limit, then it runs out. Finite. Finite means having limits or bounds. What's the opposite for finite? Infinite. We add in, a prefix before finite. Finite, the opposite is infinite or unlimited. Finite. Oil refining industry costs a lot of money. Oil refining processes are very expensive. Oil refining. Refining. The removal of impurities or unwanted elements from a substance. Fractional distillation. Look at the picture here. This is a process in which components in a chemical mixture are separated by their different boiling points. Here they are refining. They are separating the crude oil by fractional distillation. So what's a fractional distillation? Fractional distillation is the chemical process of separating different substances that have different boiling points by heating a liquid mixture until it turns into gas, and then cooling and collecting each substance separately. Polymer. Crude oil can be made into polymers for plastic and nylon. Polymer. A substance used in making plastic. So let's remember these words. Don't forget them. Listen and repeat. Crude oil. Entirely, completely. Finite, limited. Fossil fuel, like coal, oil, and natural gas. Fractional distillation. Polymer. refining. We have oil refining, water refining. Now let's do this exercise. Choose the right definition for the underlined words. You've got here the word finite. Choose the right definition for the underlined word. You must exert your effort to finish your project on time because time is so finite. Does finite means having no time limit, having limits or bounds, happening often, clear enough to read? Think. Yes, what's the right answer? Finite means having limits or bounds. Excellent. Next word, refining. In Kuwait, refining of crude oil is the core business of KNPC Company, Kuwait National Petroleum Company. What does refining mean? Does refining means a substance used for making plastic, oil in its natural condition before it is separated into different products? Does it mean completely? Does it mean the removal of impurities or unwanted elements from a substance? Yes? Check the answer. Refining means the removal of impurities or unwanted elements from a substance. Now, you've got here words in the article about power, the alternatives. Match these words on the left with words or with their correct meanings and definition on the right. You've got here 5 words and 5 definitions. Match them. Finite, contribute, refining, crude, fossil fuel. What does finite mean? Yes, finite means limited. Good. Contribute is a verb. What does it mean? Yes, 5. Aid or help in causing something to occur. Contribute, take part in, participate in. Refining, we mentioned this before. 1. The process by which impurities are removed from a substance. Crude means in natural or raw form, unprocessed. Crude oil. Fossil fuel. What does it mean, fossil fuel? Number 4, natural energy formed over a long period of time, like oil, coal, and natural gas. Now let's move the second lesson or step 3 on workbook. Name some alternative resources of energy. We have renewable sources of energy like water power, wave power, wind energy or wind power, solar power, and biomass or vegetables. Wave power, wind power, solar energy, and biomass using plants to get energy. Experts say that in the future, the sea with its wave and tide energy could provide enough energy for the whole planet, our Earth. Do you think that wave energy could replace fossil fuels in the future? Yes or no, and why? Scientists are working on the wave hub. Look at the picture on the right. This is the wave hub. This is a testing device which will be located in the sea 15 kilometers from the southwest coast of Britain and will cover 20 square kilometers. It will produce 30 to 40 megawatt of electricity every year. Megawatt. Megawatt. It's a unit of power equal to 1 million watts. So megawatt means 1 million watts. Megawatt, the unit of power. One of the greatest advantages of wave farms is that they will be invisible, unlike wind farms. Invisible. Invisible. Look at the picture on the left. This is what the wind power or windmills. These are visible. They can be seen. But the wave farms on the right, they will be invisible. They cannot be seen because they will be under the water. Invisible. Invisible. The opposite is visible. Cannot be seen. Invisible. Wind farms are very unpopular. People don't like them, with some people who say they spoil the countryside. People don't like the wind farms or the windmills because they say that they damage the beauty of the countryside. Spoil. So people here are against the wind farms because they don't like them. They say that the wind farms or the wind mills spoil the countryside. Spoil, to damage or destroy the value of something. Spoil. So what are the disadvantages of wave farms? The machines are just below the surface of the sea and so could be a danger to ships. This is one of the disadvantages of the wave power. The machines are just below the surface of the sea, below the water, and could be a danger to ships. In addition to this, some people think that wave farms may put tourists off and could be a danger to fish. Also, the technology is not cheap. It costs a lot of money. So these are three disadvantages of the wave power. In the future, scientists may resolve these disadvantages, but it is certain that the world for now will still be relying on gas, oil, and coal energy sources. Resolve means to find a solution for the problem. Resolve or solve. Resolve. Problem, analysis, solution. Resolve means to settle a solution, to find a solution, to find an answer. Let's check the new vocabulary for lesson 3. Invisible. Megawatt. Resolve. Oil. Let's move to lesson 4. Appliance. 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 They are watching TV. TV is appliance. A device or piece of equipment designed to perform a specific task, especially at home. So we have household appliances or home appliances. Appliance is a machine or a device that is used in your home. Can you mention some electrical appliances in your home? Yes, look at the pictures here. We have a heater, a dishwasher, a mobile phone, a laptop, an oven, a TV, a dishwasher, a washing machine, an oven, a microwave, a toaster, an iron. All these are what? A mixer. All these are electrical appliances which make our work easier in our homes. actually, 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 as the truth or facts of a situation, really, in fact, actually. Cookers actually need natural gas to work. Cookers or ovens actually need natural gas to work. Really, in fact. How long will natural gas last? Nobody knows. Last. Last means to continue for a specified period of time. How long will it last? To continue for a specified period of time. If we continue to use natural gas at today's speed, it will last for 80 years. Scientists think natural gas will last for 80 years. Generate, generate. We can use the sun to generate electricity. To make electricity. Generate, to make electricity. We can use solar energy to generate electricity. Breakdown. A breakdown is likely to happen. A breakdown. Breakdown. Breakdown is a noun, but breakdown with the space is a phrasal verb. A verb followed with a preposition. A mechanical failure. Breakdown. What will we do if your car breaks down? We will have to take it to the garage, fix it, or call the mechanic. Motoring, 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 the activity of driving a car. Motoring. If we find a way of using alternative power instead of petrol, the cost of motoring will fall. The cost of driving a car will fall or will decrease. Look at these windmills. What could happen to a windmill in strong winds? Strong winds. A wind turbine or a windmill could break in strong winds. Strong, the opposite is weak. Strong, great or powerful. A strong wind. Let's learn the new vocabulary. Actually, in fact, appliance, breakdown, generate, last, motoring, strong. Let's learn lesson 5 on workbook on student book here. Let's do this exercise to check understanding. Fill in the spaces with the suitable words from the list. Actually, strong, appliances, breakdown, generate, motoring, last. I'll give you 1.5 minutes to fill in the space with words from the list. Let's check your answers. Number 1. I haven't furnished my house yet, as some are still needed. Some appliances. The weather forecast says that the snow will until the end of the next week. The snow will last. He must be very to carry such a weight on his back. He must be very strong. Police and organizations urged drivers to keep their speed down. Police and motoring organizations. A poor economy has caused the death of thousands of small businesses. A poor economy has caused the breakdown. Her latest film has a lot of criticism and interest. Her latest film has actually a lot of criticism and interest. Lesson 7. If the world reduces its energy consumption, what do you expect could happen? Energy consumption. Suggest some ways to diminish the amount of energy we use in our cars. Diminish. Diminish. Diminish means to get smaller, to reduce. Diminish. Firstly, we could share cars with other people who are going to the same place as us. So, this is the first solution. How can we diminish our energy we use in our cars? We can share cars with other people. Secondly, we could use alternative modes of transportation. We can walk on foot or we can ride a bike. So we can take the train, catch the bus, go walk. These are different modes of transportation. And finally, if you have a big car, you could replace it with a smaller one to diminish your energy you use in your cars. When you are in your car, do you ever think, do I have to drive or could I travel by bus? Recently, I've asked myself these questions more often. Recently, not long ago. Recently, there is too much congestion on the roads. Congestion, congestion, congestion. The state of being overcrowded or full of traffic, congestion, having a lot of cars, having a lot of people in the street. The state of being overcrowded or full of traffic. So, congestion means traffic jam. The smog is a danger to nature and to people's well-being, to people's health. Smog. Smog. It's a fog mixed with smoke from cars and factories. So smog is mixed with two words or joining two words, smoke and fog. Fog mixed with smoke from cars and factories. Smog is dangerous to people who suffer from asthma. Asthma Asthma is an illness that causes difficulty in breathing. So if you feel difficulty in breathing, so you maybe have an illness called asthma. Asthma, an illness that causes difficulty in breathing. You cannot breathe well. Car drivers are self-employed. Self-employed is an adjective. They do not work for other people. They are self-employed. They work for their own business. Self-employed. And for most of the week, they must travel and consult different companies. Consult, ask for advice or recommendation. Self-employed. Working for yourself and not employed by a company. Self-employed. Consult can be a verb or a noun. To ask for information or to ask for an advice. Ask for information, ask for advice. Car drivers don't enjoy their journeys. Why? Because of all the traffic. They are worried about air pollution and the energy which motorists are squandering. Motorists and squander. Motorist. Motorist is a person who drives a car. Motorist, a motor driver, or the driver of the car. Motorist. Squander is a verb, to spend lavishly or wastefully. Squander means waste, to carelessly waste money, time, opportunities, etc. Squander. When a car driver drives to work, he is the only person in his car. Most other cars on the road also carry only one person. We are all going to the same place in our own cars. What a waste of energy and money. Waste can be a noun or a verb. In this lesson, it's a noun. What a waste of energy and money. Waste. Waste to energy. The careless, extravagant, or purposeless use of something. A waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy. If we don't do something to save energy, we'll end up with irreversible environmental problems. End up with phrasal verb, a verb followed with a preposition. And irreversible is an adjective. End up with, to reach or come to unpleasant end. To reach or come to an unpleasant end. End up with. Irreversible. Irreversible. Reversible, the opposite is irreversible. Not able to be done. Not able to be undone or changed. Not able to be undone or changed. Irreversible. Teenage cyclists travel everywhere by bicycle. Their journeys to work are hazardous because the traffic is very heavy in the mornings. Look at the picture here. There's a car accident. People who drive cars, people who ride bicycles, it's very dangerous for them to ride in the middle of the road. So they can be killed, they can be injured by cars. So their riding their bikes is very hazardous. Hazardous. Hazardous means dangerous. Hazardous, dangerous, risky. It's an adjective. The students would like to procure a car when they leave school and go to university. So they get a car. They feel very happy when their parents buy them a car because they join the university. They are now old enough to get a car or drive a car. Procure, to obtain something, to get something. The government has recently increased the price of petrol. Do you think it's a good solution? Here, uh, the ultra premium petrol was 95 fils, but now it's 165, and the octane 95 it was 65. It becomes what, 105 fils. The octane 91 it was 60. It becomes 85. Who did this? The government. The government has recently increased the price of petrol. Do you think it's a good solution? Do you think it's a good idea to solve the problem of traffic? Government. Government. The governing body of a country or a state. Government. Let's revise the new vocabulary. Asthma or asthma. Congestion. Consult. Diminish. End up with. Government. Hazardous. Irreversible. Not possible to change. Motorist. Procure. Recently. Lately. These days. Self-employed. Be your own boss. smog, squander, waste, careless use of something. So these are the words you studied in Unit 7. Read the English and the Arabic meaning and their definitions. Then you are going to do the next exercise. Crude oil, entirely, finite, fossil fuel, fractional distillation, polymer, refining, invisible, megawatt, resolve, spoil, actually, appliance, breakdown, generate, last, motoring, strong, asthma, congestion, consult, diminish, end up with, government, hazardous, irreversible, motorist, procure, recently, self-employed, smog, squander, waste. Now, I've got this exercise from one of the pamphlets in Salman al-Farsi Secondary School. Here, fill in the space with the suitable words from the list below. You've got here six words and 5 sentences. Read and fill in. Number 1. It took me several weeks to thoroughly acclimatize myself to this new way of life. This new way of life. You have entirely. To this entirely, completely new way of life. 2. If we don't do something to save energy, we'll, a verb, irreversible environmental problems. End up with. Governments should use renewable energy to, verb, the amount of pollution. To diminish, reduce. Number 4. How many of you would stop if you saw a who? So you need what? You need a noun or person. A who had broken down by the side of the road. Motorist, driver. Using natural oil has saved the sperm whale, which was previously hunted to make oil. Has, actually. An adverb, actually. Now, you've got other exercise. Fill in with suitable words from the list. Motoring, consult, procure, government, hazardous, self-employed. Number 1. Most of the Somalis are as herders, farmers, or independent business owners. Self-employed. 2. Before removing stains, a professional cleaner. Consult a professional cleaner or read our article on removing stains. Number 3. It remained very difficult during the war to food, verb, fuel, and other daily necessities. Cure. Number 4. Unprocessed waste from factories can harm the environment and be to wildlife. Be, adjective, hazardous. Number 5. The Prime Minister was keen to emphasize his commitments to the agreement. The Prime Minister and his government. Now, fill in the space with suitable words from the list. You've got 2 exercises here: congestion, spoil, finite, megawatts, resolve, invisible. Carbon monoxide is often known as a silent killer as the gas is and has no smell or taste. Carbon monoxide is invisible. 2. The police say they won't use the situation peacefully without using force. The police say they want to resolve. 3. The project is designed to generate around 30 megawatts of power for the national grid. 4. The Earth has a number of resources which we must protect. Finite number. Limited. Local people complained that the new office building would the view of the museum would spoil. Next exercise: losses, breakdown, motoring, strong, generate, irreversible. Number 1. Wind turbines use kinetic energy to electrical energy for homes and businesses to generate. 2. Using renewable energy reduces pollution and ensures the supply of natural oil lasts longer. 3. Always carry a phone with you in case you have on the motorway. You have a breakdown. These magazines cover all kinds of popular subjects such as gardening and sports, such as motoring, gardening, and sports. Number 5, he is a personality known for his enthusiasm for modernizing the government structure. A strong personality. Now, you've got 2 minutes to do the next exercise. You choose the most appropriate answer from A, B, C, and D. Taking the train would allow us to avoid the around the world. Would allow us to avoid the motoring around London. Diesel used in cars, buses, and trains comes from, and it is less refined than gasoline. Crude oil. Carbon dioxide is produced in huge amounts when are burned. When? Fossil fuels. By smoking for so long, she may have suffered damage to her health. Irreversible. Number 5 is an industrial process whereby crude oil undergoes various chemical processes. Refining. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D to complete the sentences. The first one: oil refining separates the various fractions of petroleum by a process called fractional distillation. 7. Now the police have caught him and found that he had almost all the money he had squandered. Number 8. They sell a wide range of domestic washing machines and dishwashers and so on. These are what? Domestic appliances. Many, such as nylon, are artificial. Proteins and DNA are natural polymers. As we flew into the airport, we could see a dark yellow hovering over the city. A dark yellow smog. The causes of are not fully known, but is partly an allergic condition, asthma. His mother couldn't bear. She always made them eat everything on their plates. So his mother couldn't bear waste. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. You can check understanding the new vocabulary for lesson 7 or unit 7 from this video. Thank you, and until we meet again, goodbye.
Crude oil.
Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel. Entirely.
Completely. Finite.
Refining.
Fractional distillation.
Polymer.
Crude oil. Entirely.
Finite. Fossil fuel.
Fractional distillation.
Polymer.
Refining.
Megawatt. Invisible. Spoil. Resolve. Invisible. Megawatt. Resolve. Spoil.
Appliance. Actually.
Last. Generate.
Breakdown.
Motoring. Strong.
Actually. Appliance. Breakdown.
Generate. Last. Motoring. Strong. Diminish. Recently. Congestion. Smog.
Asthma.
Self-employed. Consult.
Motorist.
Squander.
Waste.
End up with.
Irreversible.
Hazardous.
Procure.
Government.
Asthma.
Congestion. Consult. Diminish.
End up with. Government. Hazardous.
Irreversible.
Motorist.
Procure.
Recently. Self-employed. Smog. Squander.
Waste.